Hello and welcome to Rule of Thirds, a conversation about art, design and culture with your hosts
Burns,
Mike
and Jude.
If this is your first time listening, welcome to the family. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram at Rule of Thirds Pod. Don't be shy to say hi.
A question about the arts and the craft. If you didn't know, then it's good that you asked. You tune into the culture. This the rule of thirds. If you want to, you could tune at work, yeah. And tell me, does that frame fit good? Does it feel right? You want to steal a photo for your website, but you want a logo we can design, right? Yeah.
Will there ever be an award show that reflects its values? Do you have all the creative resources but no work to show for it? Find out this and more in today's episode of The Rule of Thirds. That was Jude.
Hey. Let's not start like that.
Oh my
Let's
days.
not start like that.
All right, we're in.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
Sorry, I was sighing because we didn't get nominated
For
for an award that we definitely should have been on.
You Want Justice?
We want justice!
Nah, it's all right, man.
No, it's not alright.
I have no words.
Yes, you do.
I am upset.
Nah, I actually don't care, actually, if I'm being honest.
Damn.
Yeah, you do. Stop lying.
I don't.
You never do.
My reward is in heaven.
Oh my god.
Move. You know the man there?
Move. Like, God will bring justice. Whatever the case may be, my reward is in heaven.
My reward is in heaven.
My reward is in heaven. No, it is though. But on a joke thing though, like, yeah, it is what it is.
No, it's not, fam.
Is it though? Is it really?
They're not doing what they were supposed to do.
Are we actually doing this?
See, I thought we were just going to be discussing something else.
Yeah,
Already
man.
it's just
I had to get off my chest.
Wow.
Well, we can talk about what we're doing about today.
No. Okay. Do we believe in awards or not?
I believe in awards.
I don't anymore.
Oh
No, I believe in
Was this
awards.
like your final? Was this a straw that broke the camel's back?
Yep, this
Wow.
camel's back is broken, baby.
I believe in awards, and
I believe in recognition. Awards, not
Same
anymore.
thing.
Nah, it's not the same.
Is it not?
Two different. I'd say an award is a type of recognition.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily.
So would you say, you know, when they do like Lifetime? So obviously for this particular one,
Mhm.
Jamal Edwards has been given the Lifetime award. Is that more of recognition?
that is
Yeah,
recognition.
yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
But recognition means that there's no nominations then.
Not always.
Perhaps
Not
not.
always.
Not always, but yeah.
So recognition could be. I
'Cause
guess it could
the
range from like
difference
awards to,
I
like,
see is that I've actually selected this person because I honor what you've done.
yeah.
As
Yeah.
awards, I'm more so like pick.
And even with the picking system, I think that's fine as long as it's diplomatic.
Or
Democratic?
or the
Is that
pool.
like one of-
Like
one of
if
those
it's from like a
Yeah, it should
certain
be-
pool,
yeah.
like the quality of the pool.
People should be able to nominate people.
Mm.
And I guess maybe perhaps some awards give the illusion that we might be able to nominate people, but then it turns out they've already chosen the people that they want to give the awards
Damn,
to.
already going there.
So it's one of them ones, isn't it? But you know,
It's all love. It's all love. It's all love.
you know, yeah,
Love,
you
love,
even
love,
yeah,
love,
you
love,
know,
love.
some clocks get it wrong sometimes. You know, when it's not set right. So
I'm so done.
obviously, when people get adjusted, they'll understand.
Mm.
But it is what it is, isn't it?
Sorry, Scissor. So, how's everyone?
What a chaotic intro.
How is everybody this week?
Oh my goodness.
Nomination or lack of aside?
You know what, man? It is what it is, man.
No, you sounding like
He's
trying to lift the mood.
Yeah, he's trying to lift the mood. And you're like, you know what? He is what he is. It's still burning you in it.
No,
I can tell.
I'm trying to
No,
find.
he said he was
I'm
fine.
actually not. It's not burning. I'm just trying to find the
Deep
right
now.
words without being disrespectful.
They're out of touch, man. They're out of
By
touch.
the way, we're not salty or anything. I think it's
No.
just-
I am.
I think it's just more so of a issue that I think a lot of people. Let's say, okay, I think there's a majority of people that are found in this pool of like almost like an everyday citizen,
Yeah.
and a lot of times it is a certain group that reach a certain point and they forget everybody below them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what they do is essentially protect that community
Mm-hmm.
and celebrate that community and will never give a helping hand.
Yeah.
But what happens is that, and this may be techie, I don't know how controversial it might be, but like let's say Graham, for example.
Yeah.
There's only a few people in Graham that are still standing to today.
Yeah.
Because they have embraced people. They have literally given people the helping hand.
Yeah.
Right.
Examples I will mention is D Double
Mm-hmm.
and Kano, Gets. All these artists have reached out to
Skepta.
other Skepta.
Yeah.
There's other artists I won't mention because I don't think they have. But
Fair enough.
all these artists have reached out to other people
Yeah.
And
Of the younger
the
generation.
younger generation,
or
right.
and they're still standing.
Right.
yeah, I agree.
Unfortunately, the way this world works is life is in cycles.
Yep.
Principles will always remain the same.
Yep.
So unfortunately, this is not to wish anything bad. But unfortunately, when you gatekeep things, eventually you'll go out of fashion.
Damn.
Everyone will forget you.
Yep.
And a new crop will come up.
Yep.
And if that new crop is wise enough to bring other people up,
Right.
they will go further.
Yep.
Right.
So this is just a warning. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm prophesying.
Yeah.
Help the younger generation because you will
Facts.
get casted out.
Yeah.
It's not even it is facts.
Everybody has their time.
In always though, because I will say some organizations do their part in some areas,
100%.
but I think it's
it
when
has to
you-
be a wholesome.
it has to be a
approach.
wholesome thing. I
Yeah.
think sometimes the intention may be good to like celebrate your people, and it's amazing that people do that. But I think sometimes what they may, it's almost like you're saying you're going to do something, and
But
the
yeah.
intention might be there, but
Yeah.
then what actually happens isn't what was expected from
It's
the
not,
people.
it's not given what
It's
it's
not- yeah,
supposed
I
to
it-
feel
get.
think-
like it's distractions. I feel like when you reach a certain point and you start getting things thrown at you,
Mhm.
you can if you're not like if you haven't got principles, if you haven't got values as an organization, you don't continue to revise them, continue to look at them, you'll sway away from them quickly and just
Yeah.
do whatever somebody told you to do. If funny enough, I had a discussion with somebody about Kurt Franklin and Maverick City music, for example, and a lot of the old school gospel artists,
Yeah.
they're not around as much anymore.
Facts.
Kurt
Facts.
Franklin is still around. But
Facts.
again, example, he's brought up the people that are below him.
Yeah.
And he's still there.
Mm-hmm.
So we acknowledge it and recognize it and we give honor to that.
Yeah.
But when you don't give respect and help the other people, how can we give honor to you? You
Yeah.
haven't done nothing for us except for take our money.
Very, very true.
Wow.
The money part is very true. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Now you're right.
So what's happening now in this generation is that everyone's taking money,
No one's giving nothing.
and what's gonna happen is that money's gonna dry up eventually. It always does. You can't. Is the thing about musicians, for example. There's I don't know how he's doing now, but do you remember Designer?
Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Do you remember that time he was on top of the world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing now, but he's not a big name anymore.
Yeah.
He's not even in conversations.
Everybody has the it's
Yeah.
the cycle.
and it's artists, and you keep on seeing it. If you don't help other people, who's gonna help you in the future?
Yeah. Like I know for a fact that it's not always guaranteed that if you help people, people will help you.
That
no.
part as
But
well,
it's
to
just
be
it's
honest.
an honoring thing to do.
But I just feel like my perfect example is Jamal Edwards.
Yeah.
Ironically enough.
Perfect
You
example.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like that's someone who could like, and it wasn't only one generation, it was like 2-3 generations to like the youngers. You know what I'm saying? He was looking at like that was his thing, he was helping. But I feel like sometimes people like to look like they're helping, but perhaps not.
Yeah,
follow
because
through the whole-
sometimes that happens. If we're keeping it real, like
Yeah.
that does happen sometimes. With like certain organizations will say that they're doing stuff for the
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
but really and truly it's for themselves.
Yeah.
And
Do you think
so
class comes into it? The reason why I say class here, so for example, they might see another platform or another artist or another podcast or whatever
Yeah.
and feel like if we support this, it may taint our image. Do you think people look at it like that?
I don't know if
Like
cla-
the
I don't-
values
I don't know-
who they are.
I don't know if it's,
think-
I don't
I
know
don't
if it's
think
a
that's fair.
class. Oh, maybe I guess it depends on how you look at class.
Because it's almost like, oh, you're not part.
You're not of that
I wouldn't even say it's class. It's
Right.
more clout. I
Yeah,
feel.
yeah. Cloud's
I
the
think
better
it's
word,
more
yeah.
that because I think especially within our spaces, like it's hard to kind of like look at the class thing because it's all kind of
We're all kind of
similar-ish.
same boat.
But
Oh,
like,
yeah, I
I
see what
would
you're
say it's
saying.
like a clout and like
How many followers you got?
yeah,
Who's listening to
yeah.
you?
But
Unfortunately,
then
Who are you
could you say
associated
that's a social class? Because technically, even
I mean,
though
technically-
financially we are we're all pretty much same level, but there's a
So you mean like they control the cool and this and that? So
So I
socially,
thought it-
so,
so-
social
social-
capital,
Social
yeah,
capital,
that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. No, like
Yeah.
it's more like what can that person do for me?
yeah,
I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
yeah. What
kind
have you
of
done for
thing.
me lately?
Yeah,
That kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It makes sense. It hurts because I remember I even saw some people post up saying, "Oh hey, comment my name under
Mm,
the
mhm.
nomination post, like so that I
Yeah,
can be considered.
exactly.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
it was
And then it turns out it's like
there was already like a list and
it's already like you know what I'm saying. It just seems very
yeah. I mean, I
bit
know
facetious.
I can't remember what platform it was on. Maybe it was LinkedIn. I think one of the founders did say like, oh, there were certain metrics that they said like, oh, we put this out there and there was a lot of response. So I know, Burns, you said this like off pod, like maybe there may be like in the future
where they open up.
maybe when they open it up, they just wanted to like I guess start off with like people that were that they had in mind already. I think it is stuff like this, and the reaction does speak to a wider issue of just within our communities, us doing stuff, or even when it comes to opportunities being given, it's always being given to the same groups of people.
Yeah,
and other people don't really like either pass the baton or like they'd be like, oh, how about this person for the gig, or like this person for like this job and stuff like that. So I know some people do it, but not many people do that. I guess it's like a mixture of like the crabs in a bucket mentality and like people trying to retain something or feeling like, you know, there's competition, the more people that you bring in.
But to
more
be honest,
about yourself and
to
stuff
be
like that.
Angel's advocate,
Wait, what? How do we get here?
I'm joking.
That's so wild.
But yeah, to do that, I would say some of these people that have been nominated, they do deserve the nomination because no one else has recognized them. That's why I would say that
exactly.
But I think it's a structural thing. Where
it's almost like celebrate your own if other people aren't going to do it. 100%.
It's a structural thing. So I was saying again off the pod, I was saying that when you want to promote emerging talent, emerging creatives, what I believe is the best way to go about it is to open up a space for those people. So for example, let's say 5 people get nominated and you open another 3 spaces for people to vote in who they actually listen to.
I agree.
So
or even a spot for each category.
Yes. So actually you're introducing people.
Yeah, I agree.
Because we're seeing the same people every single day. That's boring. You're not even like if you're actually meant to be promoting the community.
Yeah.
But we're not seeing the wider community. Our community is not that small.
Yeah, it's not.
There's a lot of people that are making moves and they won't get recognition for it.
I agree.
But again, it's an award show. It's not recognition. So
yeah.
I
mean, I want to say I want to give them grace, but I think
no, I give grace for the first year, but next year, if you ain't patterned up, then you failed.
You gotta go.
You failed the community.
Yeah,
damn.
It's kind of harsh still, but I think it's important to have these conversations because maybe a lot of times people don't tell people these things.
Do you think I would put in too much pressure because they're a black organization?
But at the same time, it's kind of your duty because you're doing this for
if you're from the black
our community.
If you're from the black community, you know this.
So like. Even though we're putting a lot of pressure because they are at the same time they are doing this because we are our community and because we are underrepresented in certain areas or when it comes in certain conversations. So if you're gonna put yourself in a position where you are going to say you're gonna show up for us, show up for us, like all of us.
It has to be everybody.
It has to be like a inclusive thing, not just friends of friends or people that you know of. Even asking like other people or asking like your younger siblings or younger family members or younger people, like who are you listening to and who do you connect with? Who do you think's doing amazing here? Because I mean, I don't know who was in this like let's say jury because like for example, like when I did the D&AD New Bloods thing, I think I was searching on LinkedIn. I was like, seeing a range of different designers from different, like some were freelancers, some were in agency, some were in industry.
It was a massive pool.
A massive pool. They gave, obviously people put their submissions in to be like, you know, voted for like their own nominations for like portfolio reviews. That's what it was for us.
Yeah.
So we had a wide variety of like portfolios, but then there was a wide background of people in the jury that were like making those decisions. So I think there does need to be that variety of people who can, you know, it's reference points, isn't it? Like we talk about it with like inspiration, with like design, and sometimes we feel like we may be pulling all pulling inspiration from the same area. Yeah. At times, but sometimes it's, you know, talking to somebody who studies something completely different or watches something completely different to you or engages more with like podcasts than, I don't know, YouTube channels and stuff like that. And then that can bring in a like more diverse group of talent. And I think it even works to your favor as well, because you got to think about it this way as well. Unfortunately, like the metrics and all this number stuff and data of course, if you bring in a wider variety of people, you're going to get those audiences coming to actually interact with your initiative, your platform, your thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you see it with award shows all the time. Like, oh, we're going to nominate this person. It's going to bring in a different audience.
Yeah.
And if they have a performance as well,
even better.
we've guaranteed like there's a slot that these people are going to be tuned in for. So I think you do, even though some people may not think about it in a certain way of like looking at more diverse talent to nominate, it will work to your benefit.
Yeah, it will.
Get a wider pool of
exactly.
people. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, is what it is. I just feel like I wouldn't say they dropped the ball, but it just goes to show that perhaps sometimes we have too much
expectation.
Yeah,
I think that's the main thing.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah,
like Burns was saying, the people who are on there definitely, for the most part anyway. So some people on there who shouldn't be on there, but like for the most part, people on there,
like definitely deserve like their flowers and stuff, which is so important.
And I think it's important we have this conversation because at the end of the day, I find it so boring when people are just in the echo chamber. Because
For
what's gonna happen now is that if somebody here has got opposite views, like, oh, how dare you? Oh, you're ungrateful. But you will never grow, never get better if you don't hear the other side of the thing.
Exactly.
You have to be challenged to be better.
Like if not, it's always gonna like he's saying, same reference points, same.
Mm.
It's always the same thing. Everybody's saying, yeah, you're great, you're great, you're great. At what point is someone gonna be like, okay, maybe perhaps you can make this better though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
But yeah.
Okay.
How you guys doing?
Rant over.
Good.
Rant over.
Let me give you rant over. But yeah.
Yeah. How's everyone? I'm good. How are you both?
Blessed. And highly favoured.
Come on.
Yeah. I feel better now.
Yes.
That I've released.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. I
Pusa.
feel like I've had so much good news, but I've not shared it to the world. I will never share it.
Hey.
No, I'm joking.
Wow.
Wait.
I will never share it.
What's going on?
I'll share it soon.
Okay.
But I feel like obviously I'll share it with you, man. But
Yeah,
I
but
feel
like live, you know, offline in the moment and stuff. And
I've really been enjoying that, to be honest.
Mm.
Like I went to a stag. Whenever you're listening to this, I went to a stag. When it was, who knows?
So when it was.
But like I was offline pretty much for the majority of it.
Mm.
We obviously took videos and pictures, whatever. But like it was pretty much offline, just enjoy each other's company. And I was like, rah, like we're in Crunch, literally. So it was like being away and just having to just chill and actually embrace the man them and laugh and banter, cook, watch stuff, clean. Like it was just like it was a good experience, man. I think it goes to show you that it's very important to really take breaks and explore the UK. I think
that,
I've been I think because I'm a city boy,
City boy.
I can't. I'm a bit snobby. I used to be really snobby when it came to like going to other areas.
Yeah.
Because I used to think, if I'm not,
There's nothing there.
if I'm not from London, But then it's like the older I get is like that's such a backwards mentality. But unfortunately, when you're born in the city, anywhere else it's bummy.
Well, it depends on what you're looking for, but yeah,
I was gonna say.
No, it's true because like there's many cities in the UK. I mean, we took from Leicester to Manchester to Birmingham to Coventry to I don't know. There's Leeds. There's bare places, but we always see London as on top.
Yeah.
And we forget that people actually have life there.
I mean, I don't, but like,
No, but
London is definitely. You guys definitely make it
I'm
very
talking for the
apparent.
London. I'm talking for the London.
Y'all are living,
Yeah,
existing out there.
Londoners, you guys do it like it's like your personality trait at this point.
But
It's like-
trust me,
It's main character syndrome.
I understand why. I
unfortunately.
understand
So
why we
bad.
do that though.
Yeah,
Think about it. You remember we had that conversation a while back saying why is Elizabeth? We're talking about Elizabeth Line. Like why is all the money going to London?
yeah,
It's because we see ourselves as the most important.
that's
I
ridiculous.
mean, we're the capital city.
Oh, here we go.
No. But
No,
like,
but it's not
not
true. This is not true, by the way.
today.
It's not true. I'm talking about the mentality. This is not a true
I'm
fact.
just saying, like,
Oh.
if we're
The mentality.
if you think about like people that even live outside of the UK, like abroad and stuff, they think more about London than actual England. They'll be like, oh, so oh my god, you're British? Are you from London? You're thinking,
No, you're
"Nah,
right.
I'm
Even from
Leeds."
media, like from when you're watching shows as a kid,
Mm.
think about it. America and London were probably the main places that. Do you remember Sweet Life of Zack and Cody? The girl was even called London.
Facts.
Like,
I think they're gonna call her Birmingham.
Yeah, they're gonna call it back.
do you know what I mean? Like
That's not the same ring. Too.
Fergie, London Bridge.
Mm.
Like there's all these different
But
things.
I think
London is
that-
a hot spot.
that only happens in like the UK. If you go to America, if you say I'm from America, You could be from anywhere. They'd be like, where you
Yeah,
from? New
but-
York,
but that's-
LA,
But
you know.
LA
the thing,
and
like,
New York still have-
culturally though, because I guess if you think about it, it's like states and then the capitals of the states.
Yeah,
are like their
it's
own
more,
thing.
yeah, fair
and
its
it's huge.
yeah, it's bigger.
It's
It's
yeah, it's
bigger.
massive. So that's why. But like, I guess now we're being a lot. I feel like actually like globally, not globally, country wise,
Yeah.
we're a lot more aware about like different parts of the UK
Mm,
and stuff.
true.
I guess
Yeah.
with like general like globalization of things or like TikTok, we have access to just each other a lot more. And
Yeah.
we see things. So I feel like, yeah, like
So
we-
here's what I got up to in Manchester
you know,
on TikTok.
Or what, with the
like 5 things to check out in Brighton or
Yeah.
something like that.
And
So,
I think that's really good, to be honest. Like,
Mm.
because it opens the space up to see other areas. Actually, no,
Yeah.
this area is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, how you been?
that's
I've
segue.
I've been calm. I think
Mm-hmm.
like so the missuses, you know, the birthday.
Hey, missuses.
Yeah.
I imagine one video where it's I like to thank my wife and my girlfriend. Is that oh sorry?
Yikes. Also done. Nah, the missus with an apostrophe, fam.
Wow.
But yeah, her birthday, so that was fun. I think similar to what you were saying about just being quote unquote off the grid. Like
Yeah.
you forget that there is not you forget, but sometimes just taking that break.
You have to be intentional though
Yeah, it's like, okay, now I'm with a human being. I'm going to focus solely on
on that.
what we're doing, the activities going on, so on and so forth. So,
Number one rule in dating:
Yeah.
always never have your phone on you. Not have your phone on you, but don't be.
don't
on
tell me
your-
what to do.
No. This guy. Don't have your phone on. Like, don't be on your phone
Yeah, nah, that's disrespectful, man. You
Yeah.
can't do that.
because you take the attention away.
I agree.
And I feel like you have more intimate conversations when you're just.
But that applies in life in general, though. When you're with
Yeah.
people, like,
Just
Yeah.
don't.
but,
But
and it's very
I
interesting.
find I'm if I'm on my phone, I'm probably feeling awkward, or I'm actually busy.
yeah.
Yeah,
you know what I've realized as
Yeah.
well, yeah. Just so that we like, a lot of people are. Because I was listening to like this guy talk about something, and they're talking about how we don't have time to daydream anymore,
Yeah.
we don't. We
and
don't.
like as
yeah.
creatives, that's usually where the
Inspiration or like the idea
yeah
and stuff, kind of.
our quote unquote our power derives from. But because of that, perhaps we're getting less and less creative,
Mm.
and we're getting more and more regurgitative.
yeah.
Right.
When you get time to think, you actually start to think, oh, what about if?
Yeah.
But then if you're not having that time, you're thinking, oh, I'll find the solution,
yeah,
and the solution's already out there for you.
you go
Instead
Instagram
of- yeah,
for inspiration.
yeah,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
instead of actually being like,
I-
oh, actually, how can that
Yeah.
work? Or
It's true.
There's no like play involved.
Yeah.
but it's
creating
because
it.
Yeah.
the pace of it is too quick now. Like and
Yeah.
as you have to change your attitude in the sense of like, I'll create when I need to, not when they
No,
tell
but
me
the
to.
thing is, like me personally, a lot of creators actually, I don't even tell lies, it's not just me, but a lot of creative people want to be in that constant state of creating it if they could.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't know how to. You
Right.
yeah, me included.
know what I'm saying? And I think maybe that's that's the tricky part, is figuring out how to stay
In that
in that
space.
in that zone. Because everybody has it. You know, when you're there and you're just like, whew,
Mm.
I'm on fire today.
Mm.
I miss those times. So.
You have, what do you mean miss the time? Doesn't happen anymore?
I'm joking. It does happen, but it's times like instead
Yeah.
of like it doesn't. It's not like there's times where I'm like raw, like
Like you were killing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then you go back into the busyness and you're like, oh,
But like, do you think you know what happens for you to get into that, and also what happens for you to get out of that?
yeah, I get distracted.
By
My phone.
it's literally just your phone
Just
that's
your
causing
phone.
Not
the
just my
issue.
phone, but like problems in life as well.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even like I think one thing I learned from Virgil was that your phone is basically your laptop.
Yeah.
So like that helps me to be creative. If that makes
Mm,
sense. So I realized as well, like sometimes the lack of makes you more creative. So for example, I had to make a post for church on my phone,
Okay.
and it looks like all the other posts.
Also,
on the
yeah,
thing.
come
But
on.
obviously, I made the brand guideline on like
Right.
in a way that I know that how it looks
works
like.
everywhere.
Mm.
Yeah.
But the fact, I think you become more creative when you have less resources.
That's very true.
Do you think?
Yeah. So
So
when,
100%.
now what
Mm.
we're doing now is that we have to get the best gadgets to make our best work. But what I've realized is that we get the best gadgets and we don't even do the work that we need to do.
But why is that?
Drag me.
No,
Yikes.
it's
Man's,
not-
man's got the cameras, the microphones,
No, but it's-
the lights.
You know what it is? Yeah, I feel like it's all the creativity and the powers within us, right?
Mm.
But we feel like
Steven
we need.
Universe. Yeah. go. It was in you all along.
Nah, not all that new age stuff. But like,
Like, that is a cartoon.
Hey, there's a lot of truth in that.
but like in the sense of like you are the one that if you don't do anything, nothing's gonna come out,
Boy.
right?
And
And do you remember? I think we had a conversation I think last week about like
Mm.
you can say oh you're creative, but if I can't see no creative work, then you know.
Perhaps you're not. Yeah.
So what I'm
Yeah.
saying is that actually no, these equipments are really good and it will
Mm.
help us to go. So I've got an iPad, I've got a laptop, I've got a camera,
You got it all, mate.
I've got everything.
Yeah.
I've got a studio essentially.
Damn.
But at the same time, is that I can have all of that. But if I'm not using my brain and using my creativity to
Then-
actually use these things,
Yeah.
it's just there chilling.
Mm.
So, what would you say to someone who, like in your situation where they have it all, but they don't know how to kind of? Because I
As
think
in they have all the equipment.
they
and
have all the
stuff.
equipment, they've got everything,
Oof.
they've got even the money to even buy more if they need to.
Pause.
Like they can,
Like, stay right there and just stop.
Yeah.
I'd say, like, because I think, like, as you were saying, Burns, like, so I don't know what it is. Sometimes, like, when you acquire the stuff,
yeah,
I don't know why, but like, it could be for multiple reasons for sure. But
Mm.
like, it's I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it caps your caps your creativity, or like maybe it's the learning curve. So because you've got to, I know with me anyway,
Yeah.
because I've got to learn how to use things properly now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something different in comparison to like what the equipment I used before. I'm just like, you know what? I might leave it alone, you know, it just seems a bit long. Or there's like a greater learning curve, or because, and maybe it's the whole idea of like, you've got this high quality or like this upgrade in tech and equipment, but then the standard is still like at a certain level.
Right. Yeah.
And so before, when you had certain equipment,
It was
your
justified.
work, you know,
Yeah.
or sometimes you're pushing above
Yeah.
what that thing can
You get the
produce.
computer.
Like
The
you're-
fun is
no,
good.
like you're really making gold out of like copper.
Because you know you're at a disadvantage, so
Yeah.
you go the extra mile.
Exactly, but
That's
then,
what it is.
But then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I've got this high standard, you know,
Newer specs.
new
M3.
spec. Oh my
M3.
god,
64
Ah,
gig.
M1 Max.
You know,
RAM.
you know creators get
M1 Max.
you know creators get the finesse the most. Because what's what Apple does here? Every single thing they'll be like, and introducing
The brand new.
the
fastest. The best.
processing chip, and it's gonna do the exact same
Is it
thing.
not M2 or whatever that's now
It's-
like
it's going-
a thing? Some of
The
us
work
like-
you've done, it will not change. It will do
It
the
won't.
exact same
It
thing. They're
really
taking your
won't.
money.
Yeah.
You're gonna do the exact same
And
thing.
the worst thing is, if you don't already have that discipline to actually, or even know how to get into that
Yeah.
creative space, then you have a faster machine doing zero work still. So basically,
literally.
2 times faster, but you're doing
Yeah,
nothing.
exactly.
You're still so I think
Yeah.
that's the issue sometimes. Like we have this, or maybe we tell ourselves when we get this thing,
Then I will
then I will make the
cap.
work. But no,
Cap. You have to start
If-
now, bro.
And again, as you've just said, if you didn't have the discipline in the first place,
It will never change.
it's really all dreams and vibes. But like if you do, then you will then level up within like, you know, learn something new, actually use the equipment,
Yeah.
like for the reason that you got it for and stuff.
Mm.
And like match it up again with like trying to make the best work with the best equipment now because you've got access to it. I do feel like discipline is such a big thing for creatives.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we spoke about it, isn't it?
we spoke about
touch that, yeah.
we spoke
I
about
think
it a lot.
it's still. I think we need to dive deep into it.
But,
'cause
like,
it's mad important, man.
A lot of us lack. I think we really said this a couple of episodes ago. Actually, like a lot of us conflate like our feelings
Mm-hmm.
with our work, and I'm really like really dragging myself here because this has like been my week. But like because you can get so caught up in your feelings,
Mhm.
you can use that as an excuse sometimes to stop you from maybe doing the work because sometimes your emotions can be tied to the work that you do. But I think sometimes you do need to like learn how to separate the two, but also like get into the habit of, okay, no matter how I feel, I still have to try and show up to do the work. It's, you know, like people in industry, for example, or who work a full-time job
Yeah.
in the creative industry, they can't afford to be like, okay, well, I'm a bit upset today, so I'm not going to do any work. It's like, no, I've still got like my deadlines.
You got work to do.
I've still
bro.
got work to do within these hours, so I actually need to do the work and get it done. And so I think I think discipline's like a massive thing.
Do you think it's possible to create one thing a day?
Yeah.
Can you do it though?
Ah,
Yeah.
I've done it before, yeah.
Ah.
No, but you haven't done it because you've stopped.
No, I haven't.
That's rude.
No, but
So this is the thing.
but that's what I'm trying to say. It's not
So-
as easy as we're saying.
No. The
It's
thing
not.
is, the thing is,
One thing
okay,
a day.
One thing
But
a day is not.
Because
It's
like
not hard to do, bro.
do you remember the Brotherhood series, for
Yeah.
example, and like the other
Yeah.
ones you've been doing, like
Yeah.
that
Really
was
good.
very consistent.
It was really
That's
great.
that.
And
I've
the
not
thing
seen
is that-
anybody. I've not seen anybody be that consistent with their work.
And I didn't stop. I was still going.
But have you posted?
I haven't posted. Doesn't mean that I'm not doing it.
See,
See,
yeah.
So
that's
that
not-
and
yeah,
another
yeah,
thing,
yeah,
because
yeah.
I think
exactly,
like
yeah.
similar. So it's very interesting what Michael was saying about the work thing, because I think sometimes creativity is automatically because we're creative,
Yeah.
and we work in the creative space. So our mind goes straight from creativity to work, and those two are connected.
Merged,
Right.
yeah.
But creativity doesn't have to be. It
100%.
doesn't always have to
Yeah,
be work.
yeah.
Like you can sit down and write a poem, or you can you can write a song, or you can think about a script, or you can take a picture, or you can sing a song.
Mm.
You can go for a run. Like creativity exists. Like another thing, I think if we cap creativity to
Just the work.
just the work,
See,
Right.
and that's a lot of times.
that's when we lack that discipline.
That's
because
where I'm at the
it's not
moment. 'Cause
through our life.
I'm not using creativity as leisure anymore.
But it doesn't have to be even leisure. It just has to be
But
your
I think,
life.
I think leisure. Yeah, it has to be your life.
'Cause
but I
if
feel
it-
like
if it's
it's
just
hard,
leisure-
it's hard to separate it.
But then wouldn't it still fall under like some form of practicing
Yeah,
a
definitely.
craft or something?
So the thing is, okay, for example, you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you go and eat your cereal. whatever.
Even making your breakfast can be creative. Depends on how you do it.
Exactly.
To be
So
fair.
my point is that those things where they're
It's a
just
way of life.
normal and you're not really you're in an automatic. Your brain is
Mhm.
literally on autopilot when you're doing.
yeah,
these
when
things.
you're doing that, yeah.
That's how
It's
creativity
mundane.
should be.
But I'm probably gonna say if we be a bit more specific, because I do feel like sometimes we can just. There's a lot of things that are creative.
Oh no, I'm not talking about the breakfast and stuff. But
No,
I'm
no,
just
no,
saying.
But I'm just saying,
yeah,
like, even I guess depending on what our goal is,
Yeah.
what would you both say is like falls under like I don't know some form of creative practice that contributes to that goal, if that makes sense. It doesn't always have to be like work.
Yeah.
But let's say if you wanted to be, I don't know, a better photographer or a better designer or a painter or artist or whatever,
Mhm.
what are the other things aside from like painting or taking a picture that you can say will contribute to that practice, but it's not necessarily the same?
yeah, it makes sense. I think for me, there is like always a linear path, and in order to get to like a final image or a final song or whatever, there are
Mm.
always things that contribute to get to that part. And
Is that intentional or unintentional?
sometimes, and this is the beautiful part, because a lot of things are auto, like you just go into that subconscious, just kind of like your brain's just running on autopilot. For example, if you're writing a song, your hand is moving, your
Yeah.
brain is thinking, your eyes are moving.
Yeah.
Perhaps you're sitting down, but there are parts of your body that are moving in unison to create
Mhm.
words on a page,
Yeah.
and then at the same time you're reading those words in your head. You get what I'm saying? It's like something is happening.
Yeah.
It's almost like a dance. You know, if you're taking a photo, it's not just take the camera and click the
Mm.
button. You frame something in your head. You know the corners of that image already. You know, you visualize how it's going to look like, even if it's in print or in digital, whatever. You've already visualized it. You know what you're taking out, what you're putting in. So already you're training your brain to be selective about what you see, how you see, and what you want other people to see. So it's that kind of like it's multiple steps to before you even take that picture. You've already thought about all these things, and I think a lot of people jump these steps and jump straight to picking up the camera and learn about the technicalities of it, which is work. And I think that's for me anyway. When it comes to staying creative,
Right.
I feel like if you don't learn those how to put your brain in that
So
space
it's
of
more experimenting.
not even experimenting per se, but experimenting is definitely part of it. But I feel like you need to learn to trust your brain. A lot of creatives
Okay.
don't trust their brain to do the work. So what happens is that you end up going to the state of like shock and fear, where you're like, okay, cool, I have a camera in my hand now, I have to press things. What am I taking pictures of? And they're not necessarily thinking, okay, cool, let me start. Let me see what I have around me. What am I looking
So
at?
like having more intention.
Do you get what I'm saying? And then suddenly, when your brain starts to go into that space of like, okay, cool, I understand what I'm looking at and what I want to look at, and I want what I want other people to see. Or maybe even if you're making a song, it's like, what do you want people to feel? And now, like you're listening to music. Will I dance to this? Am I dancing to it? Am I moving my head when I'm hearing the beat in my from the headphones or whatever? If those things aren't happening, and you're thinking about, okay, cool, how can I get the biggest hit straight off the bat? perhaps that will make. And I'm not saying that it won't work. For some people, it does. I'm not going to be the person to say that it won't happen. But it's almost like you can create the best work in a day and then be burnt out for like a year. And then no one hears from you. Like, oh, you remember that guy who made that great song or great? Where is that person? And I think most creatives want to stay in that motion of like, okay, cool, I'm here every day, every other day, wherever the case may be.
Is that dangerous?
No, that's how every I personally feel like you can do it.
As in, is it dangerous to always be like, I have to be relevant, I have to stay on top, I have to, like, do you know what I mean?
It shouldn't be a thought, I don't think.
No, but it's a natural part of.
I think, especially in today's, like, I think people now are thinking of things more that way because of the way, I guess, like, creativity works, or like how one has,
in terms of output and stuff.
Yeah, and like success as well, because it seems like you have to be very visible
to get nominated.
To get
nominated.
Basically.
We're not going here.
No, but like if we're keeping it real, like it's almost like with modeling, for example. You know how like now modeling agencies will take into account your social following as well as your look. So it's not even about your looks anymore. It's now like
enough at this point,
we need to buy into the whole persona of who you are, and that has even forced some people. Because I had a friend, photographer, back at uni, and she was like, "Yeah, like some of these guys are buying followers just to, you know."
That's scary. That's scary.
But that's a pressure that they have because they're like, "Oh, my agency might want me to have a certain whatever."
Yeah.
So like, naturally, I think now, especially with Instagram, even though now it wants to turn into a video platform, there's that pressure of you have to give or create in order to build an audience that will then maybe want to engage more of your stuff, buy your stuff, or brands will come and be like, "Oh, this person gets this many views or this much engagement, so this is a great person to work with."
Yeah.
Rather than just the craft alone. But some places still appreciate the craft, but I guess now it is like, if we're being real, like a numbers and interactions and engagement kind of thing. So that can put pressure on.
Do you feel like
they have to stay on top of things?
Yeah. Do you feel like because obviously even before you get to that point of posting it, surely there's some work that goes into actually creating whatever work or whatever. So you see that point, that stage of, let's say, creating. Do you feel like it's important for people to start thinking about that, the final output and how many people it's going to reach before?
I don't think so. I feel like it should be more natural, and I don't think it's a tough one because it depends on why you're making what you're making. Because now, like, I guess art and content seem to be
seamlessly intertwined.
Yeah. Or like some people don't. Some people mean to be putting art out, but it's taken as content. Other people see their art as content, but then some people see them as both.
Yeah.
So I think it's a tough one where sometimes your audience may be like, "Oh, we like this," so you feel like you want to make a particular type of work. And then that's why you're thinking, "Oh, okay, like I need to do this and this needs to engage and get this much response, blah, blah, blah."
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, people that are just making the art for the sake of making the art because they want to, I'd say they should focus more like on just making the work that they want to make and then allow the audience to do the rest. But again, if you have a certain audience, that can be difficult because you might have to consider them.
What does it look like when we create art without an audience?
Guess a lot more free and maybe more, which is interesting actually, because I guess that makes our work more unique because we're not trying to go with trends
algorithms
and stuff. If there's one thing that like I sometimes stand by is that you shouldn't always listen to your audience as an artist or creator, because sometimes we give those audiences what they may actually want, but they just don't know that they want it. Like Steve Jobs used to say it a lot with like a lot of products and stuff. Like it shouldn't be about, like people before weren't really looking for like white earphones, for example, or like even with like the Macintosh, like the whole idea of like opening multiple windows in one screen or having multiple fonts. Like even the engineers and stuff on the team were like, we don't need to do this. Like the people just want simple operating system that just does text and numbers. But he was like, no, let's give people the freedom to like express and try out new
So
things.
almost like thinking about what they will need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can see how decisions like that have changed
that
the
was
way that
ideal,
we
'cause he wanted basically to make a world that was better for people. To,
exactly. And like there was like two products as well. One was more personal, one was more for like corporate, like high end job kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So like that accessibility changed a lot of things. So like I feel like we should probably obviously care about your audience because they're your audience.
Yeah.
But like it's important for us to still inform them on why we, or maybe even add like why we are making certain decisions, or share that bit more so there's more of an understanding.
Yeah.
I think that might be an important thing in like the whole thing.
I think that's why it's difficult, is because that's not how things are programmed anymore. So even I'll read this extract from, it's called the Influencer Marketing Hub .com, but it basically talks about the creator economy and talks about different shifts. So it's, I'll read it. It's quite lengthy, but I'll read a little bit of it. But it says, a century ago, we lived in an industrial economy. It was the age of manufacturing, and most people earned money demonstrating their physical prowess in some forms of a factory or in modern agriculture, taking advantage of improved farming practices. Most people earned their living by making stuff. By the 1950s, however, we were turning into a consumer economy. People had been through a depression and the Second World War and were looking for new ways to spend their cash. People began to earn income by performing services for others. Trade became more globalized, with people wanting a wider variety of stuff from around the world. So like globalization and stuff.
Yeah.
Traditional media, or television in particular, showcased the latest and greatest and repeatedly encouraged people to spend more on consumer goods to keep up with the Jones. In the era of the internet, however, we entered the knowledge economy. Technology wiped out many traditional jobs, particularly, this reminds me of like Rich Dad Poor Dad, that's probably that era. Technology wiped out many traditional jobs, particularly in manufacturing and before long also in services. This developed into the creator economy, where people found a way to earn money by marketing their inane skills, hobbies, interests online. And I'll read a quick summary of what the creator economy is. And it says, so this guy wrote this, some guy called Eric Freytag. He says, rather than 10 TV shows consumed by billions of people, we now have hundreds of millions of shows that cater to billions of people. You could be only one of 10 people in the world interested in a niche topic, but chances are you will find content for it. Additionally, the people who are creating content for that topic are truly and authentically passionate about it. That last bit is where we're now losing a gap.
Yeah.
Is the last bit was truly and authentically passionate about it. That's why we're losing that gap now. So back in the day, it was that you have like 10 shows that everyone will watch all together.
Right.
Like
Now it's very specific.
Now it's but now people have realized that, oh, we can make money from this. So the passion of it and authenticity of it is now depleting, because people are realizing, oh no, this doesn't make money. I don't care about being authentic by it. That's why now you have people doing the same content, but you see there's people that you can tell really love it. People are just doing it for the sake of just doing it.
Yeah.
So I mean, and I think even as creatives, we have to be very intentional to protect that, because we can fall into that as well. You can be very passionate about something and eventually lose the passion for it because you realize you're only there to make the money.
Yeah.
And I think for us, we have to always remind ourselves, why do we do what we do? Going back to even the first conversation about organizations, going back to your values, why do you do what you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you doing it because you want to encourage people?
Or you just want to get on the social
just to make people
capital ladder.
And I feel like when you know what you want to do, that's when you go back to your roots and actually begin to make content that doesn't serve just to make money. And if it's good enough, and even if it's good enough, sometimes if it's good enough, it still doesn't make money. But if it lands in the right place, you will make the cash.
It's like you said, like it's what is your reason for doing it? And stuff, because you, as you was saying that, you remind me of like people that are very passionate about a certain like thing, and they make work or content in that area, but then when it doesn't get the response and stuff, it can be really hard. Especially when you're still trying to find like there's one guy followed for years, and he cooks, great cook, even though I've not tasted his food, but his food looks great. And been cooking for years, and he had like a YouTube channel. I think he was like working on a cooking show. He released a book. I still need to buy the book. But like he did all of this stuff, and it still hadn't like popped off in the way that he thought it would.
Right.
But he's like, my guy's still cooking like in his spare time and stuff. Like he loves food.
Yeah.
But
wait, who's this? You can.
Munch Club. the Munch Club TV.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Never-
yeah, yeah,
never
yeah,
heard
yeah.
of
yeah.
that.
Nyasha. That's his
Is that,
name.
is that,
Yeah.
is that
Yeah.
the YouTube channel? Yeah.
Yeah.
Munch
He
Club.
rebranded recently, didn't he? Am I
Well,
bugging?
I wouldn't even say rebranded.
Or
Like,
just came
I
back
know,
again?
I know he was doing like both cooking as well as like he talks about like F1, I think.
Okay, yeah,
as well.
right.
So now he's got like an F1 podcast, I think, with like 2 other friends or
Okay.
like, co-hosts
F1 as in Formula 1.
and co-hosts.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, like that's kind of like taken off.
Mm.
And obviously like he's doing more stuff there, but like there is the thing of like, you know, obviously there was a time like he was really like on it.
That was his
with-
passion, like
ideally, like, you know, I can't remember this guy on BBC, black guy, Smile, Ready Steady Cook. Like his
Oh.
names with the
Ainsley
something.
Yeah.
Oh my
I would
gosh.
say like if we ever had like
That
a
would
show
be-
like that again, he would be like the face of that show. It's like
Just
that.
saw Ainsley's face with the pepper thing.
Ainsley Harriet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like-
the way he speaks as well, yeah.
Love his voice.
And like I probably say like Nyasha's also got like that same like
Personality.
enthusiasm
Right,
as
right.
well. Like, I'm not saying it because they're like similar in personality, but like in terms of if there was another show like that,
He cares.
He cares so much. Like
Yeah, that face, man.
yeah, like that. But he kind of like pivoted. And so I say that to say like sometimes it is hard when you're probably putting a lot of time into it, and then it may not work out in the way that you may want it to.
Right.
But depending on, I guess, what your goals are, you might need to pivot, or you just have to know that, okay, I won't look to a certain thing for like as a success metric. I have to look at something else. If you
And
wanna,
I
like,
think
keep on doing it.
even that, I don't think his creative energy was wasted.
Oh, not at all.
You know, because he still put the work out.
Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly.
he found a way to push that into a different space.
And
as
he does like supper clubs, I think.
there you go. You
and
see
stuff like that. So like
Yeah.
it's changed, like, and there's still different avenues he's been able to explore for sure.
Mm.
The greatest joy as a creative, I think, is seeing other people blessed by your work.
But I think a lot of people. So the other thing is very interesting. A lot of people will either get too caught up in that to the point of like, let's say
I
Instagram
think
and trying
so.
to please
Almost
people.
like, oh, if this doesn't happen, then yeah.
So it's like it's two ways. Either
Mm.
you get to see people, let's say in real life or whatever, and then like, wow, your work helped me. I love your work. I want to have your work in my room.
What
I
about
want-
if you never heard that?
But the thing is that's the thing. So some people won't hear that because they'll just see a lot of likes, and the likes don't translate to words
Comments are
or
Yeah.
personalized words.
Yeah.
Because let's
yeah.
say even if you have, let's say, 30 likes, but that's 30 people coming up to you and saying, I really love your work.
And that's
It's a completely different
and
experience.
that's another thing that I think we forget about too, because we look at like people that are getting like hundreds of thousands of likes or thousands of likes that
Yeah.
were like 100 or like 30 or 300 is not that much.
It's not the same though, is it?
But at the same time, like you said, if there were 30 people that came up to you to say, "Oh, like your work is amazing,"
Yeah.
you would feel absolutely like,
Oh, no, true.
incredible.
But
But it's
I feel
just
like that won't
obviously-
happen.
Floating,
Yeah,
bruv.
but at the
Even the float.
I guess it's just an interesting like thing with like perspective.
Yeah,
because
the metrics are it's in the red. Like
Do you think we should
like,
ask?
it's in the
though,
red.
Do you think, because I realize as well with our work, we don't really. So, the way I
like
put
what
it-
do you think?
Yeah, the reason why I say that, obviously not every work you can do
I'm
that. Yeah,
half on half
I
on
agree.
that
not every way you
person
can do that.
sometimes.
Yeah, but I feel like if you don't give people a path to engage with your work,
Right.
you're expecting them to engage, but there's no way they can engage.
Mm.
So not necessarily what do you think or what, or this. I think we always say art is a conversation, right? But are we actually starting a conversation? Is it just putting out your work there? Is it like, oh,
But-
you're gonna start a conversation?
But depending on like the work, sometimes I'm sure some people would expect for the art itself to cause the conversation, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you don't
But
want to be
on
like,
your-
what do you think?
But I'm
or-
talking about the big time artists or big time visual artists or
No,
whatever.
no, I'm not even talking about big time.
I'm
I think-
talking about, okay,
Yes,
I think
let's say something like
for-
300 followers, for example, on
Yeah,
Instagram,
yeah.
and they put out work, and it's just like their friends and family, whatever. or
Right.
how do you start a conversation?
Oh, fair. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, how do you get to the point where you can actually have a wider topic
Mm,
conversation of?
I don't think that it has to always start a conversation
that
per
too.
se.
Okay,
Like art can just be art because a lot of people
just to view.
yeah, just
Mhm.
to view, and obviously like art, obviously like we've said, it doesn't only exist in the viewing. It's about the experience and then just being able to feel something. Whether it makes you think, whether it makes you laugh, whether it makes you angry, whatever, as long as it provokes a reaction from a person, I think you've done your job. Because let's be real, you can post something and it'll piss a lot of people off because they don't like it. It might be too religious, might not be religious enough, might be too political, might not be political enough, might be too black, might not be black enough. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be, and I think that's the thing, a lot of artists right now, what I've realized, even sometimes I fall into, is that sometimes we play into trying to be as safe as possible so we can reach the biggest audience. And that
That's
takes
a very scary truth.
yeah, and that takes away the, like Michael was saying earlier about like that uniqueness.
Which
'Cause, you know what I'm saying?
which is very funny
That's so
because when you do more of your unique
What
whatever,
you actually believe.
and you have like a large, like let's say if you have like a body of work,
Yeah.
that's the thing that will make people be like, oh, I've seen this artist and he or she or they or whoever has created work that I have never seen before, and I think it's absolutely incredible. It cuts through the noise, blah blah blah, and yeah, it's just mad how, yeah.
Because
That-
if
yeah.
you're just doing what everyone else expects you to do, bro, you'll get the same results.
Basically,
Yeah, and I think that's the thing as well, because what will happen is that back to the whole echo chamber thing. If we're all pulling from the same place and we're all doing the same work, then we feel like we're not being creative, because everyone can do what I'm doing. What makes me stand out? But the tricky part of that is it's almost like a paradox, because you want to see what everyone's doing, so that, quote unquote, in your head, you don't do what someone else is doing. Let's be real, that's not why. But that's a different conversation. But you say, oh, I'm going to look at everybody's work so that I don't end up doing what someone else is doing. But in essence, what you're doing is you're trying to see what your competition is like and what other people are doing.
right?
And in some weird, twisted way, that's also a form of procrastination, I guess. To say that, okay, I'm seeing what other people are doing.
Stopping you from actually.
You know what I'm saying? Stopping you from actually doing, because in your head, perhaps you have an idea of what you want to do. But I think
Sometimes looking for reassurance or something.
there's that, and there's a very cynical part about human beings that I've realized, that you want to see people's work be bad. You want to see bad work out there, so that so that it makes you feel like I could do that better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? There's that part, but also I just feel like there's a few steps when it comes to that whole creating thing of, like, you know, you want to make work that no one has done. Yes, we get that, but you're not giving yourself that room to in essence to fail. You're not giving yourself that room to be like, you know what, I'm gonna try a thing. If this thing doesn't work, that doesn't mean that that's the end of my career or I'm no longer an artist or whatever. Like, a lot of people write bad stories, a lot of people write bad songs, but that doesn't mean. And I feel like maybe with design, that's where the problem comes in, because a lot of designers, when you design something that's bad,
It's very.
it knocks your confidence down to zero. It knocks your confidence, because like it's different for like musicians, because you can write,
Imagine someone, you're showing somebody some work,
and then it's like who did this? It wasn't you, was it?
or you're in your head, you're gash. Yeah, you show them the work,
Ah, wow.
and they don't say nothing.
Yeah, they're just quiet. So be like, yeah, you know, I use a lot of different techniques over here. They're like, next one. It's like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
It knocks your confidence down. But I feel like a lot of
Who is it reminds me of athletics. There's some was it Shikari
oh yeah, that was so cool.
she's had a lot of chaotic but like, for example, she's smashed it in like US trials and whatever.
Yeah.
But then I think obviously she had a wee thing, and then she came back from that, and then she just finished last, like dead last. And,
That was quite bad.
do you know what I mean? But it's like she's still cold.
Yeah, she is.
But at the
She's
same-
still very fast. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
But
By
at the same
comparison to the people, yeah.
And it's like you have to keep on. If you keep on listening to what everyone says, you're gonna give up.
Yeah.
But she can win something. Do you know what I mean? So
and
it's
I
like-
guess that comes sometimes into like the whole like discipline or being consistent or like
Yeah.
emotions or whatever, because sometimes we expect ourselves to like top the last thing that we did.
It's
that
not
we've done.
possible.
Yeah.
And we expect, but again, when you're seeing like other people who are constantly like banging out like,
But
Real bangers.
There's years. Sometimes it's
but that's the thing, we forget that though.
yeah. There's that quote that says
Because-
that we're charging for years of experience. So you say I do this in 5 minutes, but I'm charging for what I've learned over the last 30 years.
But we forget that when you just see somebody's post or you see them post every day, you forget, oh, this person's been working in industry for 26 years and has worked for this
Yeah.
person, this person, this person. You're just seeing a
So
really
this
cool
is
post.
this is like it's light training for them.
And you're seeing that
basically.
from 5 to 10 different people of all different varying levels, various ages. And sometimes they're like, okay, so when am I going to top the last thing I made, but then also, do we always share that like mediocre work or the works in progress? So sometimes with ourselves, we probably build that pressure up for ourselves as a result of the things that we've even shared in the first place. And
like it's been so good. How do I top?
I top the last one? Or how the hell can I now put something?
Take the parallels, I think interesting because even Bible actually speaks about it. But like, when you take parallels from sports, so athletics actually is mentioned in the Bible about like basically train yourself up like an athlete. Like same thing. I think as creatives, we need to train ourselves up as athletes. Because what we do in athletic sports is of our mind, really and truly.
No one's going to see your race.
Yeah, so for example, even football games, for example, you're going to lose some games. You're definitely going to lose some games. But if you have this thing of like, I've lost or my life is over, then there's still more games to go. Yeah.
There is an illusion to it though. Like, I can't lie. As much as we say that, there's going to be loss, creators have to have a finesse with it. Like, we can't, when we fail, our failure isn't, we failed. Our failure has to be like, there has to be finesse to it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
in what sense?
Like, I don't know.
But why?
So
doesn't this contribute to the problem?
It's toxic.
It does. It does. Yeah. And like, I can't lie to
you. Feel.
I can't lie to you. Yeah. Like,
thanks guys for tuning in to today's episode of Rule of Thirds. Feel free to share your thoughts with us using the hashtag Rule of Thirds Pod. And for more from us, follow us on Instagram at Rule of Thirds Pod, or our personal accounts. For myself, Burns JNR,
Mike at _ man like Mike,
and Jude at Kente Kwame.
Catch you guys in the next one.